What's up, pussies? I'm the Heavy Metal Dick, and this is Heavy Metal Homesteading. Today, we're going to smoke that turkey. If you guys watched the last episode of how to prep cheap lunch meat, today we're going to smoke our cheap lunch meat. So let's go outside and fire up the cube. Okay, boys and girls, so it is now the next morning. We're standing here with my giant Brinkman barbecue. It's half charcoal, half propane. It's about the size of an oil can barbecue. It's a thing of beauty. Love this thing. So we're going to start up the charcoal. I'm just going to get a bunch of shitty old stupid flyers that clog up the mailbox. We're going to load them up into the bottom of my charcoal starter. I like using the charcoal starter because it'll get charcoal going with just nothing but a bunch of paper, and then you don't have to fuck around with putting gross gas and whatever else on your charcoal and then cooking that into your food. I know that technically speaking all that stuff cooks off long before, but I still find it leaves a bit of an aftertaste of kerosene and shit, so I like to avoid it if I can. So, big stack of flyers on the bottom of the charcoal starter. I'm going to put that right on the grill, get a lighter. Okay, once we get that kind of lit, I'm going to fill the top section with charcoal. I use Royal Oak, I'll show you the English side, hardwood lump charcoal. I don't use briquettes because I like the real wood flavor. So now you can see that we've got that almost completely full of lump charcoal. And we're just going to let that burn down for a bit. Alright, so now we've got our charcoal starter smoking away here. And our paper is almost burnt, just sort of smoldering away. We can see that there's smoke coming out of all corners, even the side that I didn't light. And there's a nice pile of smoke coming out of the top. I don't know if we'll be able to see, but right here on the top section of this, you can see that there's right there, you got a couple of embers on the top, which means that that's the charcoal lit. So we're just going to let that paper burn the rest of the way out, and then we're good to start smoking. Now, because I've jammed so much paper in here, we're going to need to be constantly feeding it with more oxygen because it's kind of smothered in there, but it takes about that much paper to get the charcoal burning really good. What you can do if you don't want to watch it and stand here and blow on it and make sure it's burning good is you can fill it loosely with paper, get it burning good, and then shove a bunch of sticks in the sides, but then you have to go and cut sticks for kindling. So if you've got kindling lying around, if you've got a wood stove, then that's probably the quicker, easier way to do this. But for me, because I don't have a wood stove, I don't ever have kindling lying around. I always cut kindling as I need it for fires. This is easier. Just fire it up, hang out, blow on it a bit. If I didn't have to go to work in a couple hours, I'd drink a beer. Right now you can see that paper is just kind of a little bit left in there, and if we look up, you can see the charcoal burning just inside those holes. So now it's time. We're just going to dump our charcoal starter here. We're just dumping that out, only in the left side of the barbecue. Because when we smoke, we want to have indirect heat. So now we're going to just move the grills right over top of where the heat is, because last time I ran this thing I was pretty hammered, and I guess I didn't clean it when I was done. So we're going to shut the lid. We're going to open all the vents. There's one over here on the side too. Get that opened right up. And that's going to let us lots and lots and lots of airflow. And we're gonna bring the heat right up, clean off the grill, and then once the grill's cleaned off, we'll get the meat and the mesquite chips on. Okay, so the cue's nice and hot now. We're gonna get it cleaned up here. Don't buy those stupid barbecue brushes. Go to the hardware store, get a proper wire brush. They're like $4. They work way better than those fucking garbage made for barbecue ones. Alright, so the cue's nice and cleaned off now. We're actually only gonna run one grill today for this. So I'm just gonna leave this one up here just to give me easier access to the pile of charcoal so that I can keep adding smoking chips as we go along and more charcoal is needed. So as we can see, I've got a bit of open flame going, which is not ideal for smoking, so we're going to shut the side vent down to almost nothing. See, there's just a little gap right there. That's all the air we're going to let it have. And then when we close the lid, the top vents we're going to shut completely. So charcoal's just on the left side. We're going to put the turkey over here, let it have indirect heat. It's going to slowly smoke away. Get some really nice flavor. Keep it nice and juicy. The brining really helps with that process. Here we've got our soaked mesquite chips. We're just going to lay a couple of handfuls right on top of that pile of charcoal. Okay, so 2 big handfuls of soaked mesquite chips. You can see the steam coming off, so that's going to allow some of that flavor to come out with that steam. It's also going to keep the heat down. We want to keep our heat at about 250, 275 degrees Fahrenheit. We want to cook this nice and slow. Okay, so here's our turkey after soaking overnight. Just going to chuck that right onto the grill. Ideally, we would have wrapped this up into nice little balls so that it cooks really nice and even, but I don't have any butcher's twine, and I was pretty tired last night, so fuck it. We're just gonna fly at it like this. Okay, we're gonna put this on skin side up, and the thighs we're gonna try to wrap back up closer to their natural sort of position. The reason we cook this skin side up is because the skin contains a lot of fat, and that fat as it cooks is going to drip back down into the meat and keep the meat nice and moist and beautiful. Alright, there's not as much room on this one grill as I thought there was, so I'm just going to move the wings up top. The only issue with them being up top is obviously heat rises, so they're going to cook a bit faster up there. And naturally, wings being the smallest piece of meat on the turkey, having them cook really fast is not super ideal, but I'm just going to pull them off earlier and eat them. Alright, we'll come back and check on this in a couple hours. Okay, so we're about an hour and a half into her now. Turkey, she's looking mighty fine. The wings are pretty much cooked. And for those of you who don't know how to tell when stuff's cooked, you want to find the thickest part of whatever you're cooking. You want to just give it a little squeeze. You see how those juices right there, they're coming out nice and clear? Those wings are done. They're ready to go. And then the other way, if you've got a nice big thick chunk like a breast or a thigh of a turkey, you can use a meat thermometer. Poultry you want to be about 185 degrees, or you can use just a fork. What you want to do is you want to get to your thickest chunk of your meat, put your fork right into the middle, count to 5, give the fork some time to absorb the internal temperature, take it out, and you're just going to put it on the inside of your wrist like so. So your body heat's like 90, 95 or something degrees. So if you put something that's 95 degrees on your wrist, it's not really going to feel super hot. It's just going to feel kind of warmish. At 185 degrees when the turkey's cooked, it's going to feel really fucking hot. So you're going to put it on, oh shit, that's burnt. You're done. Or you can just use a meat thermometer if you're worried about burning yourself. So after about an hour and a half, our charcoal pile has seriously dwindled and our smoke chips are all but gone. We're just gonna I'm gonna put a little bit less charcoal in this time because I did come out to check it at one point off camera and it was close to 300 degrees, which is a little bit too hot for this. Some more chips, some more charcoal. Alright, so that's where we're at now. A little bit more charcoal, a little bit more chips. Nice pile of smoke coming off of there. The steam that we talked about earlier from the soaked chips, still maintaining that beautiful wood flavor. I'm going to take these wings in, pack them up for my lunch, close the lid, leave them for another few hours. Okay, so here we are about another hour into it. So it puts us at about, 2.5 hours. Let's have a look. Really nice color on the turkey. The hole where I poked the fork into earlier is running clear juice. So that the breast is cooked. Okay, we got the leg here. We're just gonna see there's still some blood coming out of the leg, so the legs won't be done yet. And then the thighs are really easy because they're flat. You can just rip them open and have a look inside. And that's all nice and cooked. And we've got a beautiful pink smoke ring all around the edges. So the breasts and the thighs are done. The legs still need some time, so we're going to pull those off, bring them inside, let them cool down, and then once they've cooled, we'll slice it up and pack it and prepare it to freeze it. And that's pretty much it. A little bit of charcoal, smoked chips, and a bunch of thyme. Nice, tender, juicy, beautiful, beautiful. I wish you guys could taste this. Fucking delicious. Smoked dead carcass. Good times. Okay, boys and girls, here we have it. Finished product. Smoked bird carcass. Delicious. I took the legs off camera later on. Because this is what we're going for. You know, this whole process was to make cheap lunch meat. You know, I got a turkey for really cheap. Brought it home, cooked it up. So now we're just going to take the skin off. I know I told you at the beginning of this video, keep the skin on. That's because the skin is going to give you some really nice flavor through the cooking process. Some of the excess fat that's in the skin will cook through it and keep it nice and moist and delicious and juicy. A really nice color on this turkey. Good sharp knife here. I hope. I haven't actually sharpened it in a while, but it holds pretty good edge. So we're just going to slice this on a nice flat angle. Nice and thin. If you want to do this, you need to have a sharp knife. You don't have a good set of sharp knives, go out and buy at least one. Okay, buy a good chef's knife. Spend some money, get a good one. Honestly, the amount of money you spend on a cheap set of knives, you know, 60, 80, 100 bucks, you can buy one really, really good knife that'll do you for just about everything. So let's show you the inside of this. Alright, so that's the inside of the turkey. Right around here, we've got this beautiful pink, that's called a smoke ring. That's just some chemical shit that happens when you smoke meat. You can see kind of that it's nice and juicy. And we left it really basic, so it's just really tasty smoked turkey. And that's it, that's all there is to it. Brine it, leave it, and then throw it on the Q. Smoke it up. Beautiful meat. Smoked, dead, animal carcass. Best way to eat. Fuck you.